Dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 ba, 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 bum. Dun, 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 dun.
Hello, and welcome to the Save It for the podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Neiman, and joined with me today is.
Hello, my name is Aaron, and today we will be podcasting this podcast, podcast. I am. I did not know how long we were gonna be, doing that. So
I,
I was scared.
you know what? Actually, out of all the bits we've done, I feel like that one has to be top three. I would say
Yeah,
in
not
terms of
gonna
my
lie, like that
favorites.
was pretty legit. That
Yeah,
was legitness.
I know. I feel like honestly, I could have done an entire episode in that voice of just like
Yeah,
a soothing,
dude, same. Like
like
my actual voice is kind of like I don't know, raggedy right about now. Like it's not
yeah,
feeling too hot. So doing
right.
the podcast in this voice could actually do more good than harm.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
It's like
Oh
a
my
very,
gosh.
it's like a, like one of those how-to videos that you see like at a, spa or an airplane where
Yeah.
like
Oh
first
my gosh.
pull down the mask from the
Hate those.
ceiling and yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, whenever I'm on an airplane and I hear that voice, I just like I get a fight response. I want to kick my chair.
yeah. Or like the
So,
all the theme park announcers that are like, please keep all hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times, you know?
yeah, there you go. My gosh, I don't know if it is my internet or if it's yours, but I am experiencing troubles right about now.
Don't we all? Isn't that what
Don't we
life is all
all?
about?
Oh my goodness. Right. But yeah, an- welcome to another episode of the Save It for the Podcast. Please keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times. Enjoy your doom.
And don't forget to keep those kids close.
You never know who might who
That's right.
might be snatching them.
Yeah,
Oh gosh.
exactly.
Okay. Okay. I just want to address an elephant in the room right about now.
Please, love elephants.
We are so close. We are so close to having the Ghost of Tsushima be released. And I am hyped. Okay? I
I
am
can't
hyped.
I can't say I'm familiar with the ghost of.
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Okay. We might need a little pause. Pause? Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. I am the sole person to blame. Please verbally abuse me in the comments, not Neiman. All right.
As they
Um,
say in kindergarten, zip it, lock, and put in your pocket.
I have no idea what that means
It's
because
an American thing.
I was not raised in your heretic American schools.
So true. It is an American thing.
Magic. I don't know. I watched I watched the Shadow Weaver compilation on YouTube the other day, and it's just stuck in my head. So,
A what compilation?
a Shadow Weaver compilation. She
Yes.
is a character from Shira, Princess of Power. So,
Hmm.
anyway, though. Anyway,
I've had two people recommend that show to me now.
now it's 3 people.
My gosh. Now I have to watch it.
Yeah,
It's
you
on my
have
list now.
you have no choice, Neiman.
I have
No
too many shows
choice.
on my list. Too many
List.
shows on my list. Uh,
Yes.
my list.
Yes.
Um, just because we're in quarantine.
Mhm.
Everyone's just doing the same old thing. Oh my gosh, total tangent, but I had a dream last night, and like this
I
is how
had
I
a
know we've been in
dream.
quarantine for
I
so long,
hope
right?
will come true. that you're here with me,
and
and I'm
I'm
here
here
with
with you.
you. I
I
wish
wish
the earth, the sea, and the
and the
sky
sky
up
up
above
above
will send
and
me someone
someone
to
to love.
love.
Oh.
I
I,
love that short film. I
I
just
hope that
love
was
it.
on sync, because that would be awkward if.
It wasn't, but you know what? The audience knows.
Yeah,
The
hopefully,
audience
yeah,
knows what we were going for. You
yeah,
know, when we are finally allowed, I guess, to film in the same location, we will be able to do
yeah,
everything on sync
yeah,
because it's just going to be that amazing.
yeah.
Anyway, you said you
Anyway,
had a dream.
I did
I'm
have a
sorry.
dream. Also, interesting fact, that was the first song I learned on the ukulele.
Are you
So,
serious? This
and
is so awesome.
it's also the only song I have fully memorized, just because it literally only has 3 chords. So it's a
Oh
very
my
easy song
gosh.
to learn.
I want to
Um,
learn the ukulele mostly because I have a song in mind that I want to learn so bad. It goes like I guess I am happy, you are happy, let us be happy together, whether the weather is cloudy or sunny. I will always be your honey bunny honey. I am lucky, you are lucky, let us get lucky anyway though.
you know,
Um
lots of fun. Definitely recommend.
yes.
So I had a dream.
Yes.
And uh this is how I know I've been in quarantine for so long,
Mhm.
right? It's been, let's see, March, April, May, June, almost fully July. So almost 5 months now
Right.
we've been in quarantine. But I legitimately had a dream last night that we were in school and everything was normal. Like
Yo,
and
imagine.
I know I never have normal dreams, but this was like the only dream I've had like in my
Wait,
entire life where it's actually been normal.
school like high school or school like college?
School like college. Like I was
Oh,
back at UCI. I had like the dread of like, oh my gosh, it's the first day of school. Like, how am I gonna get to all of my classes on time, right? And it was just
right,
everything seemed completely normal, and I was like, oh yeah, it's like I have to do this and X, Y, and Z, and like I have to go here and then drive there and then pick up my brother, and it's just completely normal.
right.
I never have normal dreams. So this is how I know
Mm,
that I've been in quarantine for too long. So
Neiman, can I ask you something?
please.
Can you turn up your mic's gain just a little bit?
No. Yeah.
Whoa! Now speak.
I was already speaking.
Good.
This is a podcast after all.
Yo, imagine having a podcast.
Yeah, imagine, right?
Ima- Imagine wagons. I choose you. Wagon. Wagon.
I was thinking of Imagine Dragons, but Imagine Wagons sounds really cool too.
Imagine wagons. All right. Now, Ghost of Tsushima.
That's right. I looked that up while you were dealing
Yeah. While I
stuff
was
in the
dealing with my
pause.
schnitzel internet.
That's right.
Haha. Oh, speaking of cussing, which is another thing I am working on my end. Um,
Nice. Nice.
speaking of cussing, I would like to apologize for the delay of the previous Can of Worms episode. That is entirely my fault. So please verbally abuse me in the comments.
Yeah,
um,
we'll just verbally abuse Aaron.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is just like real life. I'll freak.
You can never escape Aaron.
Yeah, there you go.
Impossible.
I've been told that I'm an otter by various by various sources. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. Like that's just a thing.
An otter,
Anyway, though,
like the animal?
and yeah, it has a separate meaning. I will not care to elaborate.
Okay. Great. I'm like trying to think of like Aaron Otter. Like
Hmm.
trying to see the connection, but
So yeah. Anyway,
anyway, in addition,
so yeah.
furthermore.
So Ghost of Tsushima is and I am sorry for my pronunciation of this word. I like it's like I heard it in the English sense, and it's like there are two separate language barriers between me and Japanese. So I
Yeah.
would like to apologize for any kind of ow. I just hit myself in the headphone. Jeez. Even
SMH.
I abuse myself. Like everyone's
SMH
doing
my
it. It's
head.
hip to the. It's hip to. Am I having a stroke?
I well, it's possible, right?
It's always possible.
Given
It's
all the
always a
headaches you've
possibility.
had throughout all of
Yeah.
our recordings, I would say it's not out of
Yeah.
the
There you go.
question.
This is the point where this is where it has escalated. Anyway,
Anyway,
um, Ghost of Tsushima is a game that has been development for a while now, and it is absolutely beautiful. Like I have been watching gameplays of it from from various YouTubers, including but not limited to the Rad Brad and Koreax Kenshin, which are my actually top two like favorite YouTubers. But anyway,
oh nice.
yeah, there you go. And it's just such a visually appeasing game, right? Like
Oh nice.
normally good graphics aren't something I like care to appreciate because I'm more of a, gameplay art style like kind of
Yeah.
person,
Yeah.
like when people strive for realism, I kind of like
Hmm.
having a unique art style for me
Yeah.
is more important than having realistic graphics.
Hmm.
But this game is the exception because it's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
We're not sponsored, but you know what? I'm still gonna talk about it.
Yeah. No, I've looked at some of the also the gameplay and
Right,
images, and it does look stunning in all
right.
honesty, and it's kind of crazy to think about. I was actually from a TikTok of all places, right? I
Mm,
was watching a TikTok about the fact that, hold on, let me look up the fact that Pong, which is considered to be the first video game, right?
Pong.
Which
Oh,
came
Pong,
out.
right.
So Pong came out in 1972, right?
Uh-huh.
Now 1972 is what, like 50 years ago, more or less.
It's like 48 years ago, yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Quick maths.
good. We need that because I can't do quick maths. So 48. So Pong was 48 years ago, and that's only 48 years. So you can only imagine what 48 more years could do to
Dude,
video
my
games.
gosh.
Kind of crazy to think about how, like, literally the first video game was just white dots on a screen, and that was like, oh my gosh, this is the pinnacle of human existence. Look at this. We can control those white dots on the screen and make a ball bounce in between the two sides of a screen. That's so innovative.
Listen, my
And
mind
now
is
here we are.
already blown by how much VR has, developed these
Yeah.
past few years. So it's just like
It's crazy.
it
And
is
it's
crazy. It
only
is
gonna get
crazy.
better. It's
And
only
it's
gonna get
all
better.
hopefully, like if our world cares to pull itself together,
Oh well,
it's only
yes,
gonna get
yes.
better. Yeah.
There's there is that big, asterisk saying, given that the
Asterisk.
world survives 50
Yeah.
more years, right?
There you go.
And survives is the key word.
Yeah, survives
Um,
is in fact the key word.
so
Oh my gosh. Dude, years exist. Like we're aging even as we speak. Like 50 years when you look at history, it doesn't seem like much, but that's like, bro, that's like a
yeah.
lifetime for some people.
And you know what? There is actually a uh, proven by science that there is, I think, a like 0.0001 second delay or something like that between or what happens
Right.
in
What
reality.
happens and how you perceive it, right?
Right. So technically, we're all living in the past, which is kind of crazy, given it's literally like less than a
Oh my
fraction of a
gosh.
second, but still, it's like, whoa, we're living in the past. This
Dude,
already happened.
thank you, Neiman, for bringing up that big old can of fuzzy worm on strings.
Is
It's
it
just,
what the past?
yeah, no, here's the thing, right? I have an issue with the fact that we're nothing but a sponge living in a meat body, all right?
Mm,
That is limited through its perception, all right? There are literally colors we can't see, there are literally sounds we can't hear, there are smells we cannot smell. It's just like it is crazy how limited we are and yet how much we can do with this limited perspective. All right? Like,
It, yeah,
I mean, wasn't there like a wasn't there like a report that scientists were able to pick up on a parallel universe that
I can't
started
remember.
by the around the same time as the Big Bang, around the same time as our universe, but the laws of physics are completely reversed. It was like really recent too. So it's
I'd have to
like
look for it.
what
Yeah, I haven't
would
read that.
yeah, what would if if life exists there, what would perception be like there? It's just like I don't know, like alien
It's a little bit
concepts are
crazy.
just like so crazy for me.
Yeah, and you know what?
We're on ADHD right now. We're just like going on tangent
It's
after
all good.
tangent after
It's all
tangent.
good.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a podcast if we didn't do that,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
Um, so it's good that we are, right?
Right.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it is a little bit crazy to think about, right? I think like even it's interesting that we can. I think one of the most interesting things to think about is the fact that we can understand what infinity is, but we
Right.
can't visualize it,
Yeah.
which is crazy to me. Like, how is it that we can understand what infinity is, right? But we
Mm-hmm.
can't really have a picture of what it looks like in our mind, which I think is mind boggling, right? And just, I think is a testament to,
Parentheses negative negative infinity
right.
comma infinity parentheses.
Oh, right. The
Yeah.
limits, right? For any of
Yeah.
you calculus nerds out there. Um,
Right.
right, right. Um, that's right. You're pterodactyls is what you are. Um,
All right. As we were saying. All right.
we're pterodactyls, and now we're back to announcers, right?
No, that's how pterodactyl sounded, bro. Listen, we
Yeah, they
don't know
did.
how dinosaurs sounded a million bajillion years ago,
That's true.
all right? So as far as we're concerned, they were talking like this the entire time.
Yeah, they could have spoken
Greetings,
perfect English.
Stegosaurus. I would like to have your meats, please.
God, imagine an alternate timeline where dinosaurs could have spoken English, and where we would have been now if
Yeah?
dinosaurs could speak English.
Yo, bro, bro. Anyway, I was talking about Ghost of Tsushima.
You were, which is all
Right.
good. It's all good.
No, by the way, can you turn up your gain even more? I don't
Even
know.
more?
Even
My
more?
gosh.
Okay,
Can you
I
not
don't
hear me?
know. Wait, no, it's on my end. I am so sorry.
Is your was your volume thing
Yeah,
down on
my
the
volume thing was down. So, oh gosh, I am so sorry for the audience because this entire time I was louder than I thought I was. Oh
my
god,
god.
I
My
am so
gosh.
sorry.
I always keep mine pointing towards the mute button. I think
The
is a
mute
good.
button, right?
That's usually where I keep it, just because I keep it there and then I adjust the volume on my
Right.
computer.
My gosh, I am so sorry. This entire time it's just been yeah. But anyway, dude, Ghost of Tsushima is like okay, it's not like I get that because there's been a lot of hate against it recently,
Really?
right?
For
Yeah. Mostly um not from not from Japanese communities. The Japanese community loves it, but like mostly from, appropriating, like that
mm,
like the community I'm talking about, like I don't enjoy this, therefore nobody can,
mm. And
Like
that's because the game is appropriating like the Japanese culture is what you're saying? Like
I
or
am
claimed to be appropriating?
listen, I'm not going to claim to know the entirety of the drama that's
Right,
going
right.
on, all right? I'm not too savvy on that front. All right, but like I just really like the game. I really like watching other people enjoy it, and if I had a PS4, that's probably one of the games I would have gotten. But PS5 is coming out, so
Is
yeah, there you go. That being said, though, uh, like I enjoyed the game. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody else thinks. I like I'm a huge sucker for cowboys and samurai and just like those kinds of things, even
Mm-hmm.
though they're mostly romanticized.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, um,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
like that's kind of why I re-downloaded Total War Shogun 2 recently because since I can't play that game, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna make do with that.
I know. It's very sad,
Very sad,
but it's
quite sad.
okay. You can uh buy it illegally. I don't know
I
why
thought
it
for a
took me
second you were
so.
yeah, I thought for a second you were gonna say you can die. Like
I don't. It took me so long to do a bit,
right
but
there. Yeah. Buying
it's
it illegally, really. I mean, it's exhausting, I just like
well,
I
like buying
can
it
do it.
illegally.
Yeah. Like I can do it, but it's just exhausting.
It is. It is
Right.
exhausting. And
Speaking of buying it illegally, and we might be opening a can of worms here, but
please.
yeah, I don't like the perception of having, here's the thing, having potential profits turn into losses, right? Being perceived as losses is a very unhealthy mindset. All right.
In the context
Like
of
here's the context, right? Like for example, let's say I don't want to name any names because right now our position is fickle as it is. But like, a bazillionaire company lost 1 million bajillion dollars to piracy these past few months. With that's like that's a news article we can see in our minds because there are news articles like that. Except here's the thing, they didn't lose anything to them. They just didn't gain anything from them. And here's
ooh,
the thing, they still had gains from that specific movie slash game slash
whatever.
other
Yeah.
TM, right? So I don't know. It's just a very unhealthy mindset for me, especially considering their position as like
Mm.
like if
Mm-hmm.
they were indie developers or something like that, like
Yeah.
people who actually need that money to better their craft and
Mm-hmm.
produce better games in the future.
Yeah.
If it was that kind of like that kind of developers, I would understand because like I'm a huge supporter of indie developers. I like supporting them. I like their games. I like their content.
Yeah.
uh, same with independent movie makers. Like
Mm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
just yeah.
Excuse me.
You're not
Um.
excused.
Oh no, I have to stay in
Oh,
this state
damn it.
forever of
Damn it. Yep, that's the
unexcusedness.
podcast, folks. That's the podcast.
Yeah, if you can't excuse Neiman, you can't continue the podcast.
You can't.
It's just how it goes.
The podcast has been shut down by nice police.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
right.
there you
Nice
go.
police.
Nice police. What a concept.
I know, crazy,
This
crazy
isn't the
stuff.
can of worms episode.
This is not. But we
Yes.
have to mark it explicit anyway because
In
there's
yeah.
always some slip up word at some point in
Yeah,
the
there you
episode.
go.
So just to be safe, right?
I'm about to say the C word.
Yes.
COVID-19.
My God.
Demonetized.
It's gonna give us a label now.
Yeah, there you
Uh,
go.
It's like learn more about COVID-19.
Learn more
You
about
know?
COVID-19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
You
what?
were saying something.
I don't think I was.
I am so sorry.
That's okay. I mean, I could respond to your comment about
Do it.
the mindset. I mean,
Do it.
well, first I have to think of one. Well, okay, here. So, do you mean? So then, are you suggesting that the mindset should instead be, uh, instead of gains and losses, gains and potential gains? Is that kind of the direction you're going in terms of, I guess, business philosophy?
I mean, that wouldn't be any better in my like in my end. Like, here's the thing, right? Not too sure how to explain this. Piracy shouldn't be considered like piracy right about now is just like having so like in the public lens, I guess. Not in
Mm-hmm.
the public lens, I like more of like it's the war on drugs all over again, you know? Like
Mm,
it's those, crappy commercials with with the child actors going like, "Oh,
mm.
you want some weed? No, marijuana is bad. You should do Jesus instead." Like it's like,
Yeah, it's the better drug. Compared
yes,
to Jesus, it
yeah.
gets you really high because you go to heaven.
All right. But like, it's that all over again. You wouldn't download a chair. You wouldn't download a TV. You wouldn't download a
That's so fun. I've seen those ads too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. But like it's the same crappy commercials. It's the same, like rich people railing against all these, like
Yeah. Yeah.
like like it's not as big of an issue as they make it out to be.
Mm-hmm.
All
Okay.
right. So it's
So
like it's
essentially,
literally
yeah,
yeah.
go ahead.
No. You please go ahead.
I was just going to ask, so correct me if I'm wrong. So, it's so your stance is that piracy should be should not be viewed as a bad thing.
It's
Then, and I'm not
okay.
trying to insert words into your mouth, but I'm just trying
Right.
to like understand what you're saying.
Right. Now, I'm not saying that piracy is the best thing in the world, all right?
Right.
So, it's it's still kind of illegal and it's still kind of sketchy and it
Mm-hmm.
still has its risks,
Right.
right? I'm just saying that maybe instead of blaming the people, you should be blaming the million-dollar corporations that are being affected by piracy and having a better look at as though why they're being affected by piracy. All right? Like are their content too expensive for certain people to
Mm-hmm.
view, right? Like
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to say.
Mm. And I think on that actually, interestingly enough, I only discovered this site recently, right?
Mhm.
But there's there's a similar I guess situation in specific regards to academic journals. Just
Mhm.
because as I was doing research for my humanities class, because we had
Oh
to
my
do a
god.
research paper, right? Um, Basically, if you don't have a university account, it becomes that much more difficult to access, academic papers, right?
Oh,
And so
right.
there's this one site. I don't know if I'm at liberty to say, just because I don't know if they're going to get shut down or whatever. They haven't yet because they've been around for like literally years now. But essentially,
Don't mention the name
um,
in
I,
that
I
case.
I won't mention the name,
Right.
but it's like really easy to look up. But
Mhm.
it's essentially what it is. It's like Pirate Bay, but
Mhm.
for academic papers. And
Right.
so essentially, what you would do is you'd find the link or the digital online number. What's it called? It's the DOI. I can't remember what that's an acronym for, but basically, what a DOI is a digital URL, digital number assigned to basically any online document. So for
Yeah.
any like PDF or academic journal, there's
Right.
usually a DOI attached.
Mhm.
And what the point of the DOI is you can type that into the URL and it'll bring up the document, regardless of whatever browser or laptop or whatever you're on,
Mhm.
right? And so basically, you would take that, you would insert it into the site, and you would get access to that document for free, which I used. My professor, who was a tenured professor who has worked in academia for years, was
Right.
like, if you can't find any journals, use this illegal
Mhm.
Russian website. And I was like, oh, okay. So then I used
Huh?
it,
Yep.
and I got access to a bunch of these articles, right? And I was really curious as to like, why is it that the case? And I was reading like their blogs and reading about why this site exists in the first place. And it's because of the fact that um, lots of academic journals and academic publishers are basically profiting off of education, or
Yeah.
rather the betterment of human knowledge, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
what this site is trying to do, right, it's in the very, front of the site, the homepage, where
Mm-hmm.
they say this is a site so that we can make knowledge free, because knowledge you shouldn't have to pay for knowledge,
Yeah.
is basically what their philosophy is, which I think, I agree with. I don't think there should be a barrier to knowledge, and so
Yeah.
that's basically what this site is trying to do. But then it also brings up the question of, kind of going back to our earlier discussion, right? Like, you know if it is, so obviously it's a bit of a tricky question, just because it's different in a situation where it's $1 million company that's already,
Yeah.
profiting a lot off of other sources.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a different situation when it's like an indie devever, right? Because if you're
Yeah.
pirating off of an indie developer, that's really hurting them, because that's a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
potential profit that you're losing. And I think, in the similar sense, because professors, I would imagine, also get a little bit of money from their um the articles that they publish. So
Right.
I would imagine too that, and also, like, in a similar situation of like illegally downloading music, right? That really, hurts
Yeah.
independent artists as well, because when you are illegally downloading this music, then they don't get the money from, the
Mm-hmm.
streaming or the iTunes download or whatever.
Unless it's
So it's a
Kanye,
Yeah, unless it's Kanye, right? Because
then
he's a million
illegally
dollar.
download all you want.
Yeah, so it's a very, it's
Yeah.
a situation where context really does matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, in conclusion, support your local businesses and your local artists. Undermine the $1 million corporations. Undermine the
Yes.
system. Eat the rich. Go ahead.
Yes, we are granting you permission, just in
Break
case
the
you didn't
authority.
before.
Break the
Yes.
authority. Just eat the rich.
Here. Oh wow,
Excuse
you're
me.
good.
Yeah, there we go.
You're
I was
excused.
attacked by my nice voice. Here in the Saved for the podcast, we advocate for the eating of the rich.
That's right. It's our little. It's like below our contact information is eat the
Yeah.
rich.
Eat the rich. Go ahead.
Our knife and fork emoji.
Oh god. No. It's the tongue emoji.
Oh, that.
Yeah. Three tongue emojis and just a bunch of pig emojis.
That's just like Animal Farm.
Well. But yeah. Gosh.
So
So,
yes, capitalism.
yeah, there we go.
Isn't that great?
During the little cut, unfortunately the timer was still going on, so I'm not sure where we are right now, but we should have gone through the 30-minute mark by now. Yay!
Really? Oh my
Whoa!
gosh. Now I know.
Whoa!
Now I know.
Yes, there you go. Thank you, Unis Honest, for notifying me during the recording of this
Honest.
Unis Honest. Yeah, there you go.
It's 1 year in Latin.
Whoa!
Can you
It's
believe
almost like the website will be deleted in 1 year. What do you
that?
do?
Yeah, when did they start? I kept up with like their first two videos, but then I was like, if this is going to be a daily thing, I don't think
Yeah,
I can keep up.
it
So,
was a while back. I think there's still some time left, though. I'm not too sure.
like, are they more than halfway, or do you know?
I think they're more than halfway. Let me just open this video real quick.
Yeah.
No, the notification is gone because I'm a big old dum. Yeah. Oh, geez. I'm sorry for any background noise that might come because the birds are chirping, the lawn is mowing, and just yeah.
Yeah, sorry if you hear life going on outside while we're here inside
Yo,
talking about it.
imagine having an active life.
No.
Can't relate. Anyway,
Crazy, right?
yeah. There we
There's
go.
no such
Don't
thing as an
recommend this to me again. Unrelated content. Not interested.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Um, jeez. I get mini heart attacks every once in a while because my internet's like looks like it's gonna disconnect and then it doesn't. And I'm
Ah,
like, oh my gosh. Like it's like uh,
yeah.
I was about to make a Schmeck's joke. I was about to make a
Eh,
Shrek's joke, but
okay. I've never heard that euphemism before.
Shrek's.
Yeah, Shreks. I've never heard that used in replacement of, the doo-doo, right?
Right. I've been uh I've been watching what some of those what are they called? Like YouTube videos where they like where a robotic voice reads out Tumblr posts. And
Oh, uh-huh.
since certain words are, like on the blacklist of YouTube, I guess, they like, censor it. Like instead of kill, there's the oof sound from Roblox.
That's funny.
Hold on. Oof.
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 Oof. There we go. Oh god,
Yeah.
wait, that sounded like something else. Anyway.
What did it sound like, Aaron? I'm curious to know.
Sure.
Oh, okay. Thanks for letting me know. I didn't know beforehand, so.
There you go. Uh why is my eye doing a thing right now?
It's called seeing, Aaron. That's what the eye does.
Yo, imagine.
Imagine looking.
Yo, imagine. And there goes my mind again. Am I actually having a stroke? Am I just being a dum dum? Am I just, experiencing the side effects of ADHD? Who
Yeah.
knows? Maybe none, maybe all at once.
ADHD, everybody.
ADHD, everybody.
Witnessing it firsthand.
Witnessing firsthand the rapid deterioration of the human mind.
That's right. It's a case study.
Yeah, there we
This
go.
has all been a
10,
case study.
yeah, 10 years from now, just medical students are going to be listening to this podcast, and the professor is just going to turn to them like, okay, which mental health defects was Aaron facing at this point?
That's right. See,
And you're going to be the professor because you're awesome.
yeah, I was gonna say like this would be perfect practice for me, right? I mean, like
Yeah,
potentially going into the medical field, right? I mean, I might be able to diagnose
yeah,
this
there you
down the
go.
road.
I am
So,
currently, questioning whether or not I should switch over to liberal arts as my
mm,
major
hmm
because, like I like liberalism. I like arts,
So when
liberal
you put the
arts.
two together,
And when
yeah.
you put the two together, unemployment.
Oh, don't say that.
Don't say that.
Liberal
Yeah,
arts is a great major.
I heard
Okay.
I heard that you might be able to get a job in financial advising if you're, after you graduate with a liberal arts degree. I'm
Yeah.
not too sure the legitimacy of that statement,
hmm
but you never know.
So I mean, so I think the thing with
Ooh.
liberal art, ooh woo,
God.
I think the thing with liberal arts, right, is and I don't know if UCI has a specific like just dedicated to liberal arts, just because it's different in some colleges. I
Right.
think specifically, like for example, at UCI, right, the liberal arts
Mhm.
education is their honors program, right?
Oh.
And so it looks different in
Damn.
every
Yeah.
university.
In every yeah.
Yeah, and some colleges like have a separate major.
Mhm.
Some colleges are like UCI, and instead, kind of, it's like a curriculum
Right.
designed around it. Like for
Right.
example, like at UCI, you can be a part of the liberal arts program, but
Mhm.
also major in something else, right?
Right.
I have a lot of friends who are like comp sci majors, for example, but are still getting a liberal arts education
Mhm.
with the honors programs. But in terms of like job prospects, I mean, I would imagine it's very similar to kind of, and really, if you major in anything in the humanities, it's very people oriented,
Mm-hmm.
very
Yay.
understanding of people.
Right.
And it's very much I think very much, and I think with really any major, um, based on any previous work experience or job experience, I think is the probably going to be the most important thing.
Right.
Just because, for example, like psychology, right? I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can go down in psychology. Um, and like,
Haha.
if you want to go into like human
Go down.
resources, for example, go down. That's right. Uh, um,
Shreks.
yes, Shreks. So I'm gonna start using that now.
Yeah,
I
there
feel
you go.
like it's a good
That's how you,
euphemism.
yeah, that's how you get, like, that's how you get used to certain words. You use them once, you use them twice, and all of a sudden you use them in every single sentence. Like, I use Coolio.
You do use Coolio
Coolio! Yeah, there you go.
often. Yeah.
So,
I'm like,
sometimes I extend it by saying Coolio, Leo, 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 Leo,
yeah.
or something like that. And I got that actually from my anatomy class over in high school, which I hated, but the teacher was cool, so it was fine.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
And then that was from your teacher? Who said that, or like a classmate?
It was from my teacher. Yeah.
Oh,
Do you,
okay. Gotcha.
you remember Mr. Davies?
Yes, I'm familiar
Yeah.
with him. Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah. He was
Please continue though. I'm sorry.
no. It's all good. It's all good. Um, can't even remember where I was going.
Humanities, people
Oh, that's
oriented.
right. Yes.
Yes.
So, just I guess if this were a question,
Mm-hmm.
right, that we received, I mean, I would say, right, for anyone in the humanities, try to look for those internships. Try to look for, anything
For those
job
sweet,
opportunity
sweet
related.
internships.
Um, but that isn't to say, right, enjoy what
Mm-hmm.
you're learning, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, that's what matters most. And I know that's a very, it's ironic because that's a very liberal arts thing to say, because a comp sci,
No, it's
um,
money that matters most. Money, 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 money.
money, ain't it
Must be
funny?
funny in a rich
Rich
man's
man's world.
world. Money, money, money. Money in a rich man's world. Dude, Mamma Mia, man.
Yeah,
Mamma Mia. All right.
great songs. I can't say I enjoyed the
Grr.
musical.
Yeah, I just
It's
like the
total
songs.
tangent. Yeah,
I
the
just like the
songs are
songs.
great.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's just that I remember watching the movie for the first time, and I was like, who in the world thought
Mm,
that this would be a great idea for a musical?
right.
I was just like like watching it, right, and I was thinking, like, someone had to take all of these ABBA songs
Mm,
and somehow justify it in a plot, and this is what they
jeez.
came up with, which I was
Yeah.
like, why? I mean, if I wanted to listen to the
Like,
ABBA songs, I would
yeah.
just listen to an album of their songs. Like, I
Mm,
wouldn't watch a musical about, oh, I might have three dads. It's like, I don't even know why.
whoa.
Yeah, but that's just my thoughts on the Mamma Mia
Yeah, there you go.
musical. Um,
I mean, honestly, like, if you want to have three dads, have three dads.
yeah.
Yeah. Polyamorous relationships are.
Exactly. You know what? I read a post on that recently on polyamorous relationships, which, you know
Mm,
what? I don't judge, but it's
I
not
don't
for
judge.
me,
Yeah.
right? It's not
Yeah.
for me.
I get confused easily, so yeah, it's not for me either.
Yeah.
I'm not bright enough for polyamorous relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Giving attention equally to all party members. Ugh.
Like,
Gross.
here's the thing. If I was in a polyamorous relationship, I'd probably feel bad all the time because I'd be like, giving attention to somebody and then somebody else would be like, and
Yeah.
like, even though they aren't offended by it, like I would still be sad about it. So it would just be like, I'm sorry, I didn't pay enough attention to you, like all the time.
Yeah.
So it's not for me.
But I think I do I think one thing I do like about that is specifically, I feel like for me personally, if I were to be in a polyamorous relationship, I think 3 would be a perfect number,
Mhm.
just because I have found in my personal experience that 3 is like the perfect number of people to have in a group in terms of like a friend
Right.
group, in my opinion,
Like
just because,
tripartite.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think it's perfect just because there's it's difficult to, well, here's the first point, right?
Hmm.
If there were 4 people or 2 people, right, it's very easy to split that, right?
Right.
Like if you need to, oh, 2 of us will go here and then the other 2 will go here. But in 3, you're kind of, because you're in one group, you're kind of forced to do
Right.
everything together instead of splitting off,
Hmm.
for whatever reason, right? Which is always a great thing. But also, right, being in a group of 3, I think it's much better, in my opinion, um, for someone like me who's a very like one-on-one type of guy and not really a fan of big groups. I think 3 is like the perfect like in between number, because you're not quite at the big group number yet of like 4, in
Right.
my opinion, right? And this is different for everybody, right? I mean, I've known people who can operate in like groups of 8, which I think is so impressive, because I
Yeah.
don't know how I could divide my attention between 7 other people. So that's already impressive
Yeah.
to me,
You
but
heard it here. You heard it here first, folks. Neiman wants a harem.
well, I'm not going to deny that comment, right? I'm not going to deny it,
You're
right?
just not. Don't
Um,
acknowledge it. Just move on.
um, anyway,
Anyway.
and I was just thinking about it. It's like, hmm,
Hmm.
do I really? Um, so
Neiman awakens his Shrek children. All right. Yeah.
that's right, Shreks, everybody. We're talking about multiple ogres here.
It's all ogre now.
It's all ogre now.
One of these days, I'm gonna be reading the entire script of Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life, and upload it on YouTube. And it's gonna be the highlight of this decade. For me, not
Not for
internet
everyone,
wise. Yeah,
right?
not for everyone. No, it's probably gonna have like 2 views, and like it's gonna be taken down by YouTube sooner or later, and it's gonna be like, it's gonna pop up once again like years later after I've forgotten about it, and like come back
Yeah.
to bite me in my behind, because this is not the Can of Worms episode.
That's
Haha.
right.
See, I am working on it, and it's working.
Yay.
Character development.
By the
My
end of the this podcast, which I know we established in an earlier episode is never, right, because we go on until the end of time and even
Yes.
after. But I
After the heat death of the universe,
right,
the only
exactly.
thing that will be filling the void will be the echoes of our podcast.
That's right. But if we ever do get to that point, right,
Right.
I'm going to make sure you are the most polite person on this planet. It's going to be my personal goal.
No.
It'll be my personal goal to make you say, excuse me, unironically, after any bodily function you might portray
Whoa.
on this podcast.
Right on. That being said, that being said, though, right? I forgot what I was gonna say. It's just like ADHD, everybody. All right. So,
Bodily functions,
bodily fun.
politeness. Uh, is that ringing a bell?
I'm not too sure. Can you pause for a second? I'm just gonna like check out what's wrong with my internet for a second, because it's
Yeah,
going on and off, and I'm actually gonna stop the timer this time.
we'll be right back.
We'll be right back. Dun, 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 dun. Beans, beans, beans. Hello, welcome back.
Beans, 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 beans.
Beans, beans, beans. I'm not allowed to say beans with my D&D group because I managed to sidetrack and eventually just like, end the focus and end the session as well on 2 separate occasions just by saying beans. So I'm not allowed to say that with my D&D group anymore.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know how you do that.
So much power put into a single word. I guess
Well,
it's the way.
yes.
I guess it's
Yeah.
the way I use it. I have no idea. That being said, though, oh geez, life is going on in the background. Now,
Imagine.
imagine, imagine Dragon. All right, there you go.
Good band.
This video is sponsored. I wish. I wish.
I wish, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I wish. Uh, Jeebus Christ, that is a lot of life going on in the background. Oh,
We
my
love
goodness.
life, right?
Live, laugh, love.
Yeah. It's the Karen tattoo.
Yeah, there you go. Uh, my gosh. What was I about to say? One topic that I want to talk about, though, because this has come up in my YouTube feed recently,
Mm.
is slice of life, sort
Mm.
of, shows slash anime, that kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
I like watching them, but I don't like them in general.
Mm.
All right, here's why. It's not a matter of me not liking the characters or me not liking the concept or me not liking the genre. There are plenty of those with like funny concepts and like just I enjoy watching them. However, they make life seem so easy,
Mm.
and I don't like that. I just feel like I am doing something wrong in my end.
Mm.
So it's
Mm.
like it's just that's
Yeah.
why I kind of don't like it.
Mm. So, are you opposed to like shows solely being dedicated to slice of life, or just slice of life episodes in general?
I mean, okay, here's the thing, right? Like slice of life episodes and like for example in action or adventure kind of
Right.
genres, I really enjoy those because it's a very nice way of humanizing the characters, and it's just so
Right.
good to just
Right.
see them like chill for a quick
Right.
second, like for example, especially if it's being done with the villain, then it's just ugh. Like
Yeah.
humanizing the
Right.
villain is the best things you can do for me, right? Okay, here's the thing, right? Humanizing the villain is a very nice thing you can do with me, but a better thing you can do is humanizing the minion, like like the second in command
Yes,
or
the
something like
small
that.
yellow thing in an overall that appears in every show.
One of these days, I will gain the superpower of reaching through my screen and being able to grab you and strangle you for saying stuff like that. But
The
as
minion
far
was so terrible.
listen, as far as I'm concerned, the minions never happened. Okay? They don't exist. The minions have the same meaning,
They're
have the
synonymous.
same meaning that they had this entire time, okay? They're the underlings of a bigger boss, okay? Okay.
Right. Right. Right.
Moving on.
Right.
Right? If the big bad is like pure evil and their underlings, right, are like humanized with slice of life aspects like thrown in there, it's just so good. So
Hmm.
good.
Yeah.
You know? I don't
Yeah.
know. I just
I
like them.
agree.
I just
I
like that.
think. Yeah. I think. I think for the most part, I would agree. I think, especially the immediate example I think of is Avatar, right? Because that's
Yeah.
always the example we think of in this
Yeah.
show.
Yes.
I mean, it's
Oh, spoilers.
spoilers, by the way. I mean, it's exactly spot on with what you said. I mean, we
Yeah.
both we got humanizing the villain. We've got exactly what you said of both seeing the adventure, more plot-driven points, but also the slice of life episodes.
Right.
Which actually, as I was watching Korra, right, I'm currently rewatching Korra, and I think again, spoilers. I think the two things that were missing from Korra that I think could have made the show probably, in my opinion, up to par with the original Avatar.
Like, yeah.
I think the two things that were missing from Korra, I think, which I still think is a great show, but I think not as good as Avatar for these two reasons, which is exactly what we talked about:
Mm-hmm.
humanizing the villain and slice of life episodes. Just because every single episode was plot driven,
Right.
and was very much, how does this relate to the plot? Whereas in Avatar, we got to, see things like Secret Tunnel, right? Which is
Secret
totally like,
tunnel,
it's like,
secret tunnel. Yeah.
right. It's totally not related to the plot other than, we have to get to
Yeah.
Ba Sing Se. But it was like a really nice, like, exploring Korra
No, it
and,
was Omashu in this case.
or Omashu. Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I keep getting the two confused.
Actually.
I'm actually, right. But like we got to, see Korra and Aang's relationship. We got to see, Sokka, taking the ropes and
Yeah.
just see more of his comedic side, which I think is perfect in a show like Avatar, where, it can seem like the stakes are so daunting of like, we have to defeat the Fire Lord before the world is done. Right.
Right.
But when we get to see, just like small episodes like that, it's very nice, which I think was
Yeah.
completely missing from Korra.
One of my favorite episodes actually was the episode where they showed us, Zuko's daily life.
oh, right,
Uh,
the Tales of
yeah.
Ba Sing Se. Yeah.
No, not in the Tales of Ba Sing Se. No, in book 3, when he's,
Oh,
finally
the
the prince, and everyone is like, like snacks, my lord, like,
oh,
hot
yes,
towels,
yes.
yes, like,
Uh,
that kind of thing.
this was I think the first Ember Island episode, right? The one before.
No, not the. Was it the Ember? No, it
Are
wasn't
you
the
talking?
Ember
Is this the
Island
one
episode.
where they all went to the party and then Azula
No,
was
this
like,
was the one
"Hey,
where
shark."
Sparky Boom Man finally caught up with the gang.
Oh, so this is like right before Zuko was like, "I want to join you guys." Are you talking about that?
It was before that. Let me actually hold on. Episode list. Avatar book 3.
Yeah. So in the downtime,
So
while
in the
Aaron is
downtime.
looking that up, yeah,
Ooh.
Sparky Boom Man is a
No, not Legend of Korra, you frick.
yes, not Legend of Korra. We're looking at
Sorry.
Avatar. That's okay. That is okay.
Right.
But yeah, in the downtime, while Aaron looks for that, yeah. So again, I think those are the two things missing from Korra. I just think, while I do think the villains in Korra, in my opinion, are far more fleshed out, in terms of motives, just because I felt like with Avatar, I think one of my criticisms would be that, and I mean, this isn't really, it's not really more of a criticism as much as it is a wish, but I feel like Ozai was too much of a stereotypical "I want to rule the world" character. I mean, we still kind of
But that's
got.
kind of what made him perfect.
I agree and disagree. I mean, I feel like on the one hand, it did kind of accentuate the sort of direness that Aang was in of, trying to defeat this, evil character.
Right.
But I feel like, there could have been, like, for example, I think a great exploration would be Ozai's relationship to his father, and kind of exploring that, I think would have kind of fleshed out that character more. Just because we already know that it's kind of in the family to be evil, right? I feel like, honestly, we got more characterization out of Sozin than we did out of Ozai, which I think was missing. Because
Right.
with Sozin, at
See,
least we got to see the relationship with Roku. So
here's the thing, right? I kind of disagree with some of your points there.
yeah,
Right?
that's
So
totally fine.
yeah. So here's the thing, right? Like being evil, I don't think it ran in the family, sort of. All right? Like okay, here's the thing. We explored Sozin's character, right? And he was, like he was kind of the more like, okay, to go down the family tree, right? Starting with Sozin, right? He was kind of this, like, like he was molded to be the Fire Lord, essentially, right? And especially after, like, before he found out that his friend was the Avatar, he was more of a, happy-go-lucky, that kind of character,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
After he found out his friend was the Avatar, I feel like that's when he started to kind of change and mold into, like, the, kind of trying to be the perfect Fire Lord sort of figure. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And like, I really like how they played this, because height was, used to show the difference between them. And even though Sozin was kind of making himself out to be kind of the more perfect Fire Lord, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, here's the thing, right? When Roku returned from his Avatar journey, right? The first scene we see them side by side is when they embrace, right? And Roku is taller than him. Second scene we see them in is when Sozin tells Roku about his plans of essentially conquering the world, except he voices it as, sharing their prosperity. All right.
Right, right.
So, and third scene we see them in, all right, is when uh okay, is when Roku comes up to Sozin to like essentially like I'm forgetting the word right now, confront him about
Yes.
the
Right.
colonies. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, first, this scene starts out with Sozin being held higher than Roku, actually, right? In the
Mm-hmm.
throne room.
Yeah.
And it ends with Roku as flying above Sozin.
Mm-hmm.
All right, slightly above Sozin.
Yeah.
All right, these are the heights. All right, and in every single one of these scenes, we see Sozin slowly changing from the more the more idealists, right? Like the more transitionist sort of leader to more and more and more the ends justifies the
Mm.
means character, right?
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, the final major spoilers, the final scene we see them in when Roku is being affected by the poisonous gas and on his knees, and
Mm-hmm.
Sozin is looking down on him.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's the point where his character is finally fully established. All right, he's willing to sacrifice his friend to fulfill his vision. All right, and Sozin's dream being realized is a term used in every single instance. All right, in every instance where the villains seem like they're about to rule the world, finally conquer everything, and finally finish the job, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
the dream being realized is the term used. All right, so it's less about being evil and more about being disconnected from what's actually been going on. And that's why Zuko is the exception, all right? Because they're so disconnected that they forget to be disconnected. They forget to raise their children to be disconnected. So
Mm-hmm.
when Ozai banishes Zuko,
Mm-hmm.
that's his mistake. That's the mistake. All right,
That
because he
he.
essentially pushes Zuko to see the atrocities of the Fire Nation.
Mm-hmm.
All right, if he didn't do that, then nothing would have happened. All right, he wouldn't be
Mm-hmm.
connected to Iroh, the person that already has been disconnected with the death of his son, R.I.P.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it's just so good, you know?
No, and I
Yeah.
agree, and I think what I didn't even realize the height thing that you were
Right.
talking about, which now that I think about it, is actually very intelligently done.
Yeah.
I think I didn't even realize that, and then especially that tableau, ooh, theater terms, that
Yeah, dude.
tableau
Oh
of
yeah.
them of Roku on his knees and Sozin kind of above him after all
Above
these
him, yeah.
years of
There you go,
Roku
with the
being taller.
volcano going on in the background.
Right,
It's just so good.
that is very well
One more
done.
thing I want to point out, right?
Please.
Because we're talking about tableaus and theater and whatnot, in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yay!
All right. Every time Sokka has a major character development point, he's always on his knees.
I did not know that
Yeah.
either.
Yeah, that's
I'll
that's
have
kind
to
of what
look
I
at that.
noticed when I was rewatching it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when he's humbling himself before the Swordsmaster. Well, even in the first time we see him develop his character, swallow up his, you know,
Pride.
pride and whatnot, swallow up his, pre-existing conditions of sexism, right?
Right.
Like humbling
That's
himself
funny.
before the Kyoshi warriors. In every single one of these instances, he's on his knees,
Mm-hmm. That is an interesting thought that I did not realize. Yeah.
right?
Just goes to show how much action is a very action is always something you should look out for in shows,
Yeah,
just because I think too many people focus on the words and not enough on what actually happens, because
right.
that's what
So yeah,
actually happens. So that's what you should focus on,
So
right?
yeah, that
So
going back to the point I was trying to make, it's not about like an entire family being evil. When you look at it kind of closer, it's about like, I guess, 4 generations of just disconnect and disconnect and disconnect and disconnect, being molded into this perception of ends justifies the means, and that, like, human lives don't matter, like
Mm.
we can do just
Mm-hmm.
whatever we want, like that kind of thing. And they think to themselves, it's a like it's I guess it's an example of doublethink, like we can do whatever we want with them, and it's for their own good.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Like it's these two perceptions being like mushed into one and being forced upon generation after generation.
Mm-hmm.
So when Zuko was cast out, the, the disconnect didn't happen because he
Mm-hmm.
managed to see the atrocities of the Fire Nation, and when he got back,
Interesting.
he
Yeah.
couldn't live with himself.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
This is
yeah,
this is honestly an essay in the making. Like you could write an entire essay on this, and
listen, we can probably like go 2 hours just talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender,
yeah.
and like all the things that
Oh
were
yeah,
made. Yeah,
yeah. Because I mean, you've got like a whole thesis and everything. Honestly, that was a very well done argument.
I
Um,
didn't know I had.
that no, you really did have like you had a thesis, an intro, and concluding statement, everything. I mean,
Yeah, there you go.
honestly, I might steal that from you and use it for my own discussions about Avatar: The Last
Do
Airbender,
it,
just
honestly,
because.
do it.
Yeah, I didn't really think about it in that sense, and
Right.
I really like kind of the idea of how it kind of starts from this one guy, but then just gets amplified after
Mm-hmm.
generation, and then finally we get to see like even like Azula, for example, just being this ultimate pinnacle of this disconnect that you're
Yeah,
talking about, because she is completely disconnect for any concern of
yeah.
human life. So it's sort of interesting to think about that, and I
Like
without getting.
literally, like there's a video out there analyzing Azula's mindset, and it's I think it's from the channel Hello Future Me. And I
Mm-hmm,
really recommend everyone check that out. All right, it's just such an in-depth analysis of her mental state,
mm-hmm.
because like it just portrays everything, like it just covers everything perfectly. How Azula sees everything around her as a game, as a performance, like how emotion doesn't matter to her, how emotion, like when displayed, seems like a theater to her, and this is
Yeah.
actually during the Amber Island episode, when he claps and like says well done everybody, to like that's her reaction to everybody opening up about their
Oh
lives, I
yes,
guess,
yes, yes,
you
yes.
know and like it's such, I don't know, it's just go watch the video.
Yeah, it's a great video.
Yeah.
But we won't banter too long because oh,
Oh boy.
you there?
For a second there, everything
Yeah,
froze
you
and I
did
was
freeze for a
afraid.
second. Yeah,
Yeah, sorry about that.
that's okay.
Before our internet disconnects, this has been this is not the can of worms episode. This is you.
This has been
There we go.
the Save It for the podcast episode uh 13 or something like
Let me
that.
check it out.
Um,
Let me check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
but
7, 8,
uh
9, 10, 11, 12.
I was right. I know
Yep.
I'm right. Flip hair. This has
Flip
been the
hair.
13th episode, regular episode of the Save It for the podcast. We're your hosts, Neiman
Aaron.
and please send us questions.
Please
Send
do.
us an email.
Indeed.
Do whatever you want to us.
Do it. Yeah. Oh, geez. Okay.
We'll see you next time. And please fill out the form if you have a question.
You.
Thanks for listening.
Goodbye.
We'll see you next week.